Another week begins. Well, let's hope that it continues the way the weekend went for our tipsters here on A Way to Win, proudly brought to you by Betway. Generally, they were very much on the mark, and of course, kudos to our man online. He gave us Teflon Man, and listening to followers of Teflon Man or followers of Darren on Saturday, they actually got 7-1 as an SP of Teflon Man from the Calamere stable. Long may it continue. Also, good news, it is looking ahead to Clyde Basil and their progress report. You've got the good news for us. Maybe you can share with our viewers.
Yes, Cecil, the good news is he's at home with his family, recovering at home, and I'm sure their spirits and their presence will speed up his recovery period.
Oh, thank goodness it's about 5 weeks, something that we thought was just a minor hiccup, but it's been a long, long journey, and we really, really send our prayers and good wishes not only to Clyde, but as I always say, the support network has a lot to do with the well-being of our patients, or the patients as far as the illness goes. Right, we've got a show to talk about. We've got Monday racing coming through from the Fairest Cape. It is Western Cape Racing. We're at Kenilworth for a 9-race program. We're on the summer course, and of course we've got our expert as far as Cape Town is concerned, Mr. Darren Burrows. Will be coming to him shortly. But Daryl, just as we remind our viewers, they can express their thoughts about the show and the racing that's currently on via our handles, that is on Twitter as well as WhatsApp, and we certainly look forward to getting feedback from you as we build up to the second leg of the Triple Crown and Triple Tiara. Right, without further ado, starting off with the Work Riders maiden plate. That is race number 1. That's the first of 9. So the bipod only starts race number 2. So we get straight to that bipod, Mr. Marie. And what are you liking as far as the afternoon progresses? Any bankers in that bipod?
Yes, I'm bankering Richard Fourie in race 4 on number, what is it, number?
That's number 3. Number 3. That is
yes, sir.
Yes, that is Brett Crawford's charge. Yes,
that's my banker.
Oh, that's your banker.
Opening leg, I've gone 3 runners. I've gone all of numbers 2, 7, and 9. Now, Iguguletu's last run is his best to date. That was a very competitive maiden plate. I think several winners will come out of there. Scootsy's held by Kopsa Klopsa a bit. He's had a run since then, so probably more racing fit. And then Kopsa Klopsa, I actually like his chances that he's being gelded now, Cecil. The word from the yard is he's expected to go very close to on his return. And I think if he's improved since for the gelding, I think he could be the horse to beat. But I'm playing the safe route, all of numbers 2, 7, and 9.
2, 7, and 9, and it is an appropriate time to bid Mr. Darren Burrows a very, very good morning to you, sir. Good start to the week. Very well played, you guys, both for the Highveld meeting and the Western Cape meeting. And unfortunately, one of the good things was in race 7, and unfortunately scratched. That was the sprinter in race number 7, the 9. But let's hope we continue on that good vein. Morning to you, Darren.
Good morning, Cecil. Yes, it was a cracking weekend. I think every best bet of ours won. I think Marauding Horde, what's the other one? Barbaresco.
Barbaresco.
That sorted right down. We landed a gamble there. And Cape Town Teflon Man went off the boards race time, and he should have won by a lot easier, but he did get up to win. That's the main thing. Now, race 2, you got to include Kopsa Klopsa. First run is a gelding. I like that last run behind a very smart horse in the Real Prince. On that run, he holds Suti. And then Iguguletu. I thought a very good run in a 20-horse field last time out. He comes into the action. From my stable, Tambourine Man, he's got an outside chance because he does receive 7 kilos from your 2 favorites.
Okay, so it is very much in the corner of Kopsa Klopsa for both our analysts, and that is the bipod, starting with those 3 horses in the first leg, 2, 7, and 9, as you heard from Daryl. It is the banker in the third leg, and that is Richard Fourie and Brett Crawford, and also the best bet in the computer form, Mon Lasweur, that is race number 4, the Saddle Cloth number 3. Right, that's your bipod. We're going to dash on to that first leg of the PA as we come back with that third race preview. Okay, so for race 3, the last time I looked at our betting, we had our co-favorites in the form of our numbers, the 2 Cabaret and the 5 Tokyo Princess. The latter had actually been shortened into that 19 to 10. I'll give you an update in a very short while, but let's get straight to the thoughts of Daryl. He will be putting together that PA. In race number 3, obviously, no bankers for you in that first leg, or are you taking a chance?
I'm actually bankering a 6-1 shot here, Cecil.
Okay.
I'm taking my chances. I'm bankering number 3, Blind Faith. Now, I know she's well exposed and she's a 5-year-old. But if you go to her penultimate start, she's close to, or she is 4.5 kilograms better off with Cabaret. And she had excuses on that occasion. She didn't quite settle over the mile. So I'm thinking, based on her last start, she's got a possibility of reversing the form with Cabaret. Now, Cabaret's effort last time out was commendable in that the race didn't really go her way in the early stages, and now she gets the services of Richard Free, and we know when Richard and Glenn Cotson team up together, their strike rate's very high. So I respect her chances. It is a maiden handicap, so she is certainly in with a shot. And then number 5 is my third pick, Tokyo Princess. Now, her latest starts is the best to date. They removed the blinkers and she put in a fair performance. She does have top weight to shoulder though, so that's never easy in a maiden handicap. But we saw that form line being franked with Wagug winning her handicap debut. So 3, 2, and 5 in that order for myself.
3, 2, and a 5. Anything you can add to that, Mr. Burrows? We're looking at that first leg of the PA race 3, off at 25 to 2. Co-favorites, as I said, Antipost were earlier on at 2 and 5. Should they finish before out between those two, or Blind Faith has a chance?
I like a bit of Blind Faith here. I thought the definite value at 6-1, 52.5 kilos, holds Cabaret on collateral form with the weight reversal. And I think Blind Faith will be in the top 3. So even money or 12 to 10 a place, I thought Blind Faith the value. Cabaret's got a chance. The drop in trips, he'll probably go to the head of affairs with Richard Faree. And Tokyo Princess, not out of it, but he has got the 60 kilos to shoulder. But Wagug did frank that form in a big way. So 3 to beat 2 and 5. And don't ignore this horse, Saint Brigid, number 7. I thought a good debut behind Japanese Rose. Her last start was disappointing, but she could bounce back in this type of company.
Okay, so great minds think alike at 3, 2, and 5. Although Daryl is going the value route in that first leg, the 3, that is Blind Faith. Please take note of the off time through that first leg of the PA 13 at 35, race 3 at Kenilworth. All right, it's an open maiden plate that will be race number 4. It's over the 1,400 meters. Once again, the first leg of the pick 6. It is Mr. Burrows who's going to give us the selection. But let's just get a quick input from you, Ms. Marie. You're closest to me, hence I'm starting with you all the time this morning. What about race number 4? I see your banker in the bipod number 3, Montloiseau, rather. That has been supported into 9 to 10 overnight was evens, and now 9 to 10. So basically, it looks like that's a business this afternoon.
Cecil, in these open maidens, you always try to look for a little bit of value, especially those carrying closer to bottom weight. But I looked at this field, and to be honest, I make this very close to a penalty kick. I'll tell you why. Although he's carrying top weight, I think this is a great opportunity. I don't believe this is a strong field whatsoever. Now, I'm going back to his penultimate start, Cecil, when he was returning after rest and being gelded.
Yeah.
And that was behind All About Ronnie. In that form line, he ran 4th. The 6th horse, the 7th horse, and the 8th horse all won directly in their next start. The 9th horse, the 10th horse, and the 11th horse, who include Fly Futura, won indirectly. And in that race, he actually beat a horse called Willie John. Now, Willie John...
Isn't that the stable companion as well?
Yes. Now, last time out, Willie John beat him. So I'm thinking that was a flat second run after a rest.
Okay.
And he was interfered with in running as well. It was like he was a ping pong ball being knocked around in running. So I'm excusing him of that start. I don't think this is a strong field whatsoever. I make him, as long as he gets luck in running and he isn't in need of this run after rest, I think he'll win quite convincingly.
Right, Mr. Burrows, you are selecting the pick six for us as I'm advised by Mr. Marie. And is it a case of early bird catches the worm? There was a nibble into evens overnight, and then I see just a few moments ago it's now 9-10, and that is a 3-1 sir. Is that one of our better bets on the afternoon? Well, the market suggests so. Do you agree?
Well, Cecil, I've played the safe route numbers 3, 6, and 9 to get through this leg, only because he has rested. I think he's highly regarded, I must say, but he has been disappointing in his starts to date. His best run being his second start at Durbanville. 1400, probably a good trip for him right now because the dam line, there's a lot of speed. So probably the horse to beat. I have healthy respect for Indecent Proposal. His penultimate start, he pulled out of the race. Must have been excuses. He was joint favourite that day. His 3 runs back was a great effort behind Ozark. And last time out, he was drawn deep at over 1,400 metres, didn't have his own way, and he was only beaten 2.5 lengths by King of Spin. I think there's a lot more to come from Indecent Proposal. Mystery Cash to fill minor money. Indecent Proposal does hold Mystery Cash on the Ozark run. So 3 and 9 to fight it out, followed by 6.
3, 9, and 6. Let's confirm those numbers. They are the first leg. They make up the first leg of the pick six. And then race number 9, the conclusive event. We do have a banker at the back, and it is number 6, Hami Zahiro, who's bidding for that third winner from 16 out in Candice Bass Robinson and Alda De Meyer. Right, that's your pick six. And please be reminded that starts in race number 4 at 2:10. Hashtag destination race, Cape Racing Maiden Plate for fillies and mares is over the 1800 meters. This will be the first leg of the first jackpot race number 5, and we should be off at 2:45. I'm going to go to the man with a best bet for us in race number 5. That is Mr. Burrows. As far as race number 5 is concerned, I looked at the index, and our tipster, Mr. Brendan Gaylord, has made number 5, a Whistling Dixie, his value bet, and that's at around 4-1, so not the worst of suggestions there.
Cecil, she's shown lovely improvements in her 2 starts since returning from a rest. I think you can see that may also be because she's been stepped up in trip. And now she goes an additional 200 meters. And the way she was finishing her race off last time out, one has to believe she's going to love the extra. So I'll make her certainly one for the shortlist. I'll give her a strong winning chance. But if you like her chances, I don't think you can be overly bullish because you got the likes of Ticking Bomb and Basic Maneuvers who finished right alongside her. And luck in running will determine the outcome of this race. I think those 3 are certainly the 3 fillies to focus on. I watched the replay. Now, number 5, Whistling Dixie came out slow and she got a nice position on the fence, whereas number 9, Basic Maneuvers, flew out the pens, and then she was going to be caught 3 wide around the bend, and Aldo just decided to ease her back, and she got caught out of her ground turning for home. So I think if Basic Maneuvers is ahead of the other or ahead of Whistling Dixie, I think she may confirm that form. And then Ticking Bomb improved when ridden closer to the pace last time out. So I think 4, 5, and 9, not much to separate the 3 of them.
Okay, just to add a little bit of a fly to the ointment, what about the 2 English mistresses also from that form line? I see drops the speed ratings.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see her, but she does have 3 lengths to make up.
To make up on the others. Okay, Mr. Burrows, would you like to add to that? I do know that it is centered around the horses we've just been discussing, sir.
Yes, this filly Whistling Dixie, I actually liked her last time out. I saw her move to post and I thought she's got big improvement to come. And she was a big price. But what happened to her around the bend, she was early on in the race, she was pulling a bit hard. And that's my only concern. I'm just hoping that she can drop her head and settle into a rhythm because you don't want to overdo it over 1,800 meters. She's got a decent draw. If she can slot in a couple of lengths off the speed, she can accelerate from off the pace. Now, last time when she did run 4th, I'm talking about that run anyway, she had to switch in at a crucial stage, costing her the race. She would have won by a length or so, But when she switched in, she had to get back into her stride, and she was closing the deficit late. I just feel if she had a clear passage towards the center outside, she would have breezed on by. So that's the reason I'm going for Whistling Dixie in quite a big way. I thought 4-1 was great value. In the pick six, I covered her with Ticking Bomb and Basic Maneuvers, and then opted to bank a Hammy's Hero in the last race.
I did see that. So it is a bet, a good bet for Good Striker, 7-2 now. And if you are kind enough and get on well with your bookmaker, you could still get that 4-1. That is race 5, first leg of the first jackpot. It's a maiden plate over the 1800 meters. Another open-looking contest, race number 6. This is the start of Jackpot 2, the country championship per class 5. It's over the 1800 meters, and we're going to be getting a jackpot suggestion. That is Jackpot 2 from Daryl, so it's appropriate to start with Darren. Another open-looking contest, 15-4 the field. It's number 8, Exceeder. Greg Enyon and Lewin Kotu are teaming up, and that is at 15-4, looking for win number 4 from 36 outings. Where and how do you see this race evolving?
The hardest race on the card for me. I've put the field in the pick 6. I'm hoping for a big result. For the shortlist, I thought the improver could be Summer Night City. I just feel that this is the right kind of company with a rating drop. Caramel Fudge isn't out of it. The Maiden Dawn Cloud's not out of it, as well as Red Rackham at a big price. I thought he could improve being a being a handicap. Others to consider, Exceeder, been a bit disappointing. He is getting on in age, but this is weaker company. And Twice the Master, not out of it. So I'm looking for the biggest result in the exotics.
Okay, so Darren's given us a short list. He makes it the toughest race on the card. Do you also see that? Likewise, I see. Are you going to include the 5 Dawn Cloud amongst others, your former bosses also?
No, I'm not. But it's a handicap, so yeah, must have a chance. Cecil, 9 horses go to post in this race. The most recent win out of the 9 runners comes last year, May, 9 months ago. So these horses aren't in good form.
Okay.
And you can't be confident with regards to any of their chances. One thing I'll say, just to show you how topsy-turvy this form is, on the Exceeder run, the right horse is him, Exceeder.
Yeah.
Then on the Gentleman Joe run, Caramel Fudge is better than Exceeder.
Okay.
Then last time out, Twice the Master comes up trump. So on that run beyond Weather King, the pace was awful. And Exceeder's a one-paced galloper. So if he's allowed to use his stride today, I can certainly see him reversing that form. In that race was number 1, Cecil, the mare, Destined to Dance. Now, she took a hold of the bit and she actually clipped heels, turning for home, and lost her position, and she surprisingly only got beat 8 lengths. If she settles in the running this time round, I can certainly see her feature. But I think Exceeder, if he gets away from the field and he's got fitness on his side, I can see him holding on, because it isn't a strong field whatsoever. So I'm not bullish over Cecil.
All right, let's get to your jackpot, because it is definitely, I think, the word field would be the way to go. Daryl's gone 1, 3, 8, and 9, but I think reading in between the lines, you can add a few more. And in fact, the only way to be guaranteed that passage is all 9 horses, as suggested by Darren as well. That's the first leg of the last jackpot. We still have one more exotic to discuss, and that is a pick 3 coming up with race 7. Right, it's the class 4, and it's dropping to 1600 meters for race number 7. A chance to get involved in the last pick 3 of the afternoon. Quite trappy, and there's certainly a few with a bit of above average talent. The one that I'm most interested to hear about from Mr. Burrows before we come back to Mr. Marie about the 7th race on the afternoon. Slurricane did start off with a bit of a reputation, and you also got the vibe from the connections that there was a bit of ability there.
Yes, this horse has improved after that layoff. I thought a good win last time out, but when you look at what he beat, it wasn't a strong field whatsoever. He pulled clear of Like the Clappers, but that was a class 5 race. He's gone up 8 points. I'm looking to beat him, to be honest. Others to consider, no apologies. His last run was a shocker when they fancied him quite strongly. Luce Verd's not out of it. Quartermain's got an outside chance. Bardolino and Katsu, both good form of late. They'll be right there at the finish. This horse, Monumental, at a massive price. Don't ignore his chances, because Glenn does rate him, and he said he's getting to the bottom of him again. His last run behind It's Raining William wasn't a bad effort, 4 lengths off. So at 25-1, don't be surprised if Monumental flashes up and wins. Dragonfly and Notion outside chances as well.
So that kind of a race, and Mr. Marie, you gave us your jackpot. And as far as the pick 3, are you going to cover, or are you going to stick to the same formula as you did in the jackpot?
I've got the same horses in my pick 3, Cecil. 3 of them, numbers 2, 3, and 4. Let's start with the favourite, Slurricane. Now, you can see this horse was clearly plagued with problems. He was rested from July to September, then from September to the following year, April, and then from April to December. Now, you can clearly see Mr. Marshall has got him in a good space, because he's having 3 runs in a relatively short period of time. So he impressed last night, and I think he can follow up. He's always been held in high regard. Quartermain, I loved his win last time out. He had the field on the stretch from the jump, and most of the field never got into that race. We've seen big units win from that form line, and there's another horse that finished quite far behind, came out and ran second in their next start. Let me just tell you who that was. Coastal Commander.
Yeah.
And Spirits Unite also ran a place, and he was beaten just on 7.5 lengths. So I think Quartermain's actually a nice horse in the making. He looks like a nice handicapper. I can see him featuring over here. And if you like his chances, you have to have respect for number 2, Luce Verde.
Okay.
You can see on that rule of thumb run, he's right alongside him, and there shouldn't be much separating the two of them. So 2, 3, and 4 for me, but the race, I don't believe, stops over there.
And of course, that anti-penultimate run was behind a certain Green with Envy, who's already labelled the winner of the Derby in a few weeks' time. Just one last question. You were talking about all the breaks that the Slurricane had took. It's like you and Clyde and your Leave and your Darrens, and you're not, there's no problems with you guys. You just like your breaks. You can afford all these breaks. But on a serious note, let's have a look at that pick 3. And that is for the last 3 races at Hollywood Bets at Kenilworth. 2, 3, 4. By 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, by 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. 75 Rand the outlay. And if you do survive that first leg, then you have a chance to be in a profitable winner's queue, or at least a big paying up winner's queue come the end of race 9.